So Dad was thrilled over that. He liked church. So he preached a revival, and it got a little heavy. So my daddy asked Mr. Hunter, which was Mr. Ed Faber's son-in-law. He was taking care of the farm that year, and they lived down there. It used to be a white house. I think it's a trailer sitting there now. Had a little shotgun house down below the old gin. The old Faber's gin is still there, and he asked him about getting that little shotgun house to have church in. And Mr. Hunter said, that'd be all right. Daddy said, how about taking a petition out, making one big room? He said, it's all right. So Sister Lawrence came down and brought a suitcase and said, Brother Dacus said, the Lord sent me down here to help y'all get a church started. And Daddy said, well, come on in. I still don't know where we all slept. We had a four-room house, and all the kids that we had, my daddy and mom and stepmom had. But anyway, we made it, and we got the little shotgun house, and Mr. Hunter had come by and it was plowing cotton, so I'm running the middle, so that had to be May. We didn't plant cotton until May, and Daddy asked him about having that little house, and he told him okay. So we got down there, and then one Wednesday night, Brother Ed and Brother Elmer didn't show up. And Brother Carroll Martin and Brother Wallace Kennedy and Brother Johnny Blessing game were there. And I never seen such dancing in all my life. I mean, they danced, looked like their heels were going to hit themselves and see the britches. They really did dancing. We just jumped up and down. And boy, and Brother Kennedy had big old thumbs that looked like plums. He'd bug them eyes out and lay hands on people, and I looked around and people falling all over the floor. And that was kind of scary, but he really had the power of the Lord. Brother Kennedy was a man that could tell you what was fixing to happen in your life. He told Brother Carroll Martin one time at church, said, there's going to be a bad sickness in your home. I think it's going to be your wife. And he had married a lady that didn't believe in Pentecost to start with, so she didn't know anything about calling people to pray for her, and but she did real good. Brother Carroll Martin delivered everybody from revival that night, and he got back. Well, before they went by their house, and she said, "Carol, let me off." Said, "I don't feel good." When he got back, she was all bundled up, felt like she was dying with appendicitis or something. And Brother Carroll said, "Well, you want me to go get a doctor, or you want me to go get the preacher?" So she cried a while and said, "Well, go get the preacher." Well, Brother Kennedy had already gone home. They had him an old house down at the end of the lane. Had him in, he done gone home. There wasn't no McDonald's back then. After church, you went home. And there wasn't nothing, you didn't go out and eat. And so Brother Kennedy had already gone his little house he was staying in, living in, and gone to bed. And the Lord woke him up and told him, "Get up, somebody's coming after you." And he got up out of the bed and dressed and walking up the lane and met Brother Carroll Martin as he drove. The lights flashed in the lane coming down to his house. Well, you know the Lord worked like that. What he's going to do when Brother Kennedy got there, the Lord healed her. And it really broke out a revival. And it's just, they were down here, and I hadn't ever seen anything like that. So we built a brush arbor out here. Mr. Cutter Gibb let us have a place. That was his property then. Let us have a brush arbor out there. And Brother Kennedy and Brother Carroll Martin.
Explain what a brush arbor is. We got kids who know what a brush arbor is.
Well, a brush arbor is put up some poles in the ground, like posts, that sticks up about 10 foot tall with a fork in the end of it, and lay little poles across that and put brush on top of it. And that was called a brush arbor. We had a revival of that brush arbor. And
tell them how bad the mosquitoes was.
Well, we don't remember.
Yeah, well, I really don't remember that right now. They were 11 years they were when we started growing rice around here. I think so. They really got bad. This old bow down here didn't help very much either. So with that 20 years passed, and we had to go back and get another lease for another 20 years. Well, when that 20 years was passed, Mr. Bob Alexander passed away. So Jim didn't renew the lease for 2 or 3 years. Of course, I really don't know Jim's thinking, and he ought to be here tonight and he could answer for himself. But he didn't renew our lease. And he wrote a little note, his attorney had advised that, and he wrote a little note to his attorney and said, them people think I'm trying to take it away from them. Well, I really didn't think that, but I didn't know why I did. What he was going to do, he was going to donate it to us. And by donating the church to us, he would donate the whole thing. Everything would belong to him, because we hadn't paid a lease in a long time. So it would all be his, and he could give it back to us. Maybe get $500,000 on income tax. I don't know, but it don't matter to me anyway. So we've had a lot of good times here. This church didn't just fall out of the sky. And there's been some great people have come through this church. One of them is Brother Rowan's mother, precious saint of God, if I ever saw one.
Right.
Prayer warrior. I had a lot of faith in her. And we've been on Brother Ernest Shirley. Brother Ernest Shirley was a man that come here and his family. He got real sick. Brother Kennedy was back in Mississippi at that time. Different ones would come by and pray for Brother Ernest Shirley, and he'd get better while you was there praying. Brother Bunch was pastor at Conway, and he went on a 30-day fast. I ain't never done that. I don't know how weak he'd get. Looked like he'd get hungry and weak, fast 30 days. But anyway, they'd get him come up there and pray for him, and he'd get feeling better. Time Brother Bunch get back home, he was hurting again. So it was, finally Brother Ernest said, I just feel like if somebody go get Brother Kennedy, I'll get my healing. So Brother Carol Mark was there. He said, well, I got a new car, but I ain't got the gas money. If somebody buy my gas, I'll go get him. I know right where he's at, because he was from Mississippi too, you know. So he goes down, and Brother Kenny was down on Creek Bank. He was in a big revival. He said he had 79 white sheep and 1 black one. He had 80 people that got the Holy Ghost in that revival. One black person came up and asked if she'd come in and get that. He told her yes, so she come in and got it. Anyway, he was down on Creek Bank. Well, when Brother Kennedy looked up and saw Brother Elmer Shirley come in and whoever was with him, he knew something was wrong. So he just picked up his little gear and was walking back the trail. He said to Brother Shirley, said, who is it? He said, Ernest, my brother. Said he's in bad shape. And he started off of there, and Brother Kennedy could see visions a lot. And while he's coming down that trail, Brother Kennedy saw the devil. Said it's the form of a dog. He said it's the maddest dog he ever seen in his life. And he just started pointing his finger at that what he saw in the vision, and talking in tongues. And Brother Elmer said, I try to get as close to Brother Kenyon's as I could. He didn't see all that. They got back to the house, and his wife said, what you going to do about your revival? He said, well, there's a sister there's helping me, and that she take care of it till I get back. So they drove up here, and he went in there, and Brother Ernest couldn't even have a shirt on. So naturally, he felt embarrassed for women to come in the room where he's at, a pair of overalls on, and the buttons unbuttoned on the side. And Brother Kennedy come in, and he ignored everybody, had a house full of people there. He didn't say, how y'all doing, shaking hands, or he came on a mission. He goes in there, and he said, Brother Shirley, what's wrong? Brother Shirley talked kind of slow. He said, Brother Kennedy, looks like the old devil's trying to kill me. And he reached down and got him and squeezed him real tight. And he said, devil, get out of him and get back in the pit where you belong. And God gave him his healing there. He got in the car with him, went back to Mississippi to testify in revival. And on the way back down there, they stopped at the service station, and the guy had some watermelon sale. And Brother Ernest thought that sounded good, and he hadn't eaten anything so long, you know. He said, Brother Ken, do you think watermelon hurt me? He said, no, God has healed you. Eat anything you want. So he got him a piece of ripe watermelon and eat on the road. So we've had a lot of good experiences. There's been a lot of great things happening to the church. I'll tell you what, a lot of them are gone on, such as my little wife. She was a great warrior, prayer warrior, saint of God, and There's been a lot of others that have gone on. We won't take the time to do all of that, but I got a good heritage, as Sister Pilkey always testified. We got a good heritage. I love this little church.